I'm learning. I'm practicing my anger management by watching this. Happy thoughts. Flowers, sunshines, cats, mouses with hats. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel where we watch people embarrass themselves and we get embarrassed for them. I'm sorry if further down the video you find the humor to be a bit lacking as compared to my other posts, because I didn't want to distract from the whole purpose of creating and compiling this video together, which is the victims that were children, mind you, at the time that all of this happened, and I'm sending them lots of love and I really hope that they heal with time. What happened to them was absolutely awful. It's inexcusable. Allegedly, if all the allegations are true, then I really didn't want to overshadow all of that by bringing too much humor into this because it's not really a funny situation. It's nothing to be made fun of except for Colleen Ballanger being the embarrassing person that she is of the decade and the century, of the decade, not the century. But yeah, without further ado, it's a really long video. It's probably going to be the longest one on my channel. Just grab your popcorn and your snacks and sit back down, buckle up. It's going to be a long, bumpy ride.
Today, we're sitting down with Colleen Ballanger, actress, comedian, and YouTuber best known for her character Miranda Sings.
If you were anywhere online in 2023, you probably saw Colleen's name trending. It's because she was accused of crossing personal boundaries with fans, some of whom were minors, and the response was intense.
She posted a response video that made the whole situation blow up even more. And what followed was one of the biggest public cancellations we've seen in a while.
This is actually the first time that we're meeting Colleen, and we've decided to do it now because we feel like enough time has passed for reflection and learning and for a real conversation behind the headlines.
By that, they mean enough time has passed where they think that everything would have blown over since there was also the Mr. Beast controversy, and there was a lot of YouTubers that were being outed, so they thought another new drama would just blow over whatever the hell she did, and she would get to come back and be given the platform on a silver platter again, just after just appearing on a podcast. It's just, well, it's kind of like obvious.
It's easy to form opinions based on what we see online, but harder to sit down face to face and ask questions about what's really happened, what someone's taken from it, and how they're moving forward.
Well, that's very true, but I would actually believe you more if you were in fact talking about Twitter. Somebody gotten canceled on Twitter without evidence. It's like really normal because Twitter is a community where people come with pitchforks and torches. I mean X, where the people come with pitchforks and torches of after someone that they don't even have evidence against because just because they want to shit on someone. Like, I swear, the Twitter and the Reddit community scare me for this exact reason. They would literally cancel you because they're having a bad day. But I'm sorry, Colleen Ballanger is not a part of that. She is not the victim. Please stop making her sound like she's the victim of a public cancellation when it was completely very well deserved.
Our goal isn't to revisit every detail, but to understand the human side of the story.
Hold up, I'm gonna stop you right there. There is no human side to the story. I think you should be more focused on the victims, which were children, mind you, at the time. Minors. Why are we treating this like a morning show?
That became very public.
So
what does very public mean? Obviously, she was a grand YouTuber who was not just in and out of social media. She was on the shows, like the shows of the time. She even got a Netflix show. Of course, she was gonna get this amount of backlash that she got was completely expected. I'm surprised that these people are treating it like she is a victim of this huge controversy and she's a human and we should listen to her. Why aren't you bringing out the victims? Why aren't we talking about them? Why are we giving these kind of people like a platform back? We cannot be that desperate for a clout, I swear.
today, Colleen is here to share her perspective in her own words, to share what she's learned.
Hasn't she already given that perspective in the god-awful, oh my god, that apology that was the meme of the freaking century, for the freaking decade, and that stupid goofy ass song? The only redeeming factor on the entire video, or maybe the nail in the coffin, was that goddamn ukulele. I swear, it was a final prop in the circus and the clown show that we all would come to know as the apology of the century, where she didn't even technically apologize, you know? It was every single YouTuber I watched was talking about that as a meme, you know? It was the butt of the joke. She was the butt of the joke.
What she regrets and what she hopes all of us take away from it now.
And we're here to listen.
We really shouldn't be here to listen. Are we even discussing the same person? Because you cannot seriously tell me we're having tea parties and casual banter with an alleged pedo. I know I don't like to say alleged here because there's a lot of incriminating evidence against Ballanger on her own channel. But I don't want a lawsuit, so we're going to use alleged from here on out. Also, right off the bat, I'm not a fan of the whole atmosphere that they're setting. Like, this poor person that was a victim of the internet, we're going to give them a platform so they can talk their own side. I'm pretty sure she said her own side multiple times throughout the years. And it sounds very non-confrontational if you ask me. But anyways, let's just keep moving on.
Here's our conversation with Colleen Ballanger.
Now that I'm a mom,
I'm literally gonna skip through this because it's the intro. But here you can see she's been on morning shows, so she's a huge thing, and yeah, so the backlash was supposed to be expected.
Yes, we have somebody who you definitely know,
You
because if
definitely
you
know.
know YouTube,
You know her.
You know her. You have to know her. Colleen Ballanger.
that is it. That is
Yeah,
my name.
you said it right.
You did.
Why is the mood so casual, morning show-esque? I think it's only been freaking 2 minutes, almost 3, and we've already lost the plot.
Get so nervous about like butchering people's names, even though I know your name is
'Cause
Colleen
everybody
Ballanger,
butchers
and I've
hers.
said it so many times.
It wouldn't bother me if you did. Most people don't say it right. My whole life it was Colleen Ballanger.
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 Yeah,
People say
I'm
usually.
Mayday, and so people are always like
Mayday.
Mayday, because
We really don't care, Madej.
it's not with a middle Y.
Oh, okay.
So it gets
okay.
very
Yeah, my name is Raven. People call me Janet. It's so weird. I don't understand.
Okay, so we're giggling and laughing, and the only thing that's missing is a couple of lounge chairs and tea. Oh, hang on a moment. They already have tea. So what's missing here is the lounge chairs.
Okay,
Anyway, we really appreciate you.
we're really happy that you're here.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, there is a very big elephant in the room.
So are they finally gonna address it? Are they finally gonna ask the questions that we came here to listen the answers to? Although we've heard them quite a lot of times because she just stays in denial. Are they finally gonna come in hot and confront the allegations against her? Maybe. Let's find out together.
And I think that we just have to address it.
Sure.
Immediately.
Why Miranda?
Or what? Girl, I think you're completely off the book at this point. We're not even on the same book anymore.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Seriously, so y'all get the gist of it, folks. It's really testing my last nerve, and let's call it a day here, folks. Let's call it a day here. No, no, I'm just kidding. I didn't sit through an hour of this freaking, angering podcast to only come this far. I'm learning. I'm practicing my anger management by watching this. Happy thoughts. Flowers, sunshines, cats, mouses with hats. And alright, yeah. I'm good. Let's keep going.
I was thinking about that. I was like, how do we address this when I get there?
It's pretty massive.
Yeah, it is. I'm sorry. I mean, luckily for you, she's been gone for a while, so you don't have anyone to compete with that name. But
Thank you.
yeah. I mean, do you actually want the answer to that question?
No. Absolutely no one cares. Besides probably these two women that are definitely out of touch with reality. I see why my therapist asked me to watch this to practice my anger management.
Yes.
You can watch this. I'm going to link it down below, but I'm going to skip past this whole stupid question of why Miranda.
They do.
But you can get a gist of how unserious these people are.
Doesn't sound, like I obviously am a mom and I love my kids more than anything in the world, but it's like I love Flynn, Maisie, and Wesley. Like I'm like I don't have 3 kids.
Oh, of course, that's what we were here for. Talking about your children and how your hair is like shiny and how your names are pronounced like Madej. Girl, please get back to the plot. Get back to why we're really here. Address the allegations. Address everything that you've addressed like a person that can't even like process anything, any information in her head like the past 2 to 3 times that you've addressed it. Go on, make a fool of yourself again. And drag these 2 women into that foolishness as well. Tomfoolery.
How old do you feel in your body? Or in your brain?
Oh, sure, we really would love to know that answer, don't we?
Like, how old do you feel? Because I feel like 20 sometimes.
20s, yeah. I'd say like mid to late 20s. I feel like I'm stuck there, like in my mind of like, that's maybe even younger. I don't know, but I definitely don't feel like I'm in my 30s.
Of course. No wonder you acted the way you did with all those kids. It all makes sense now. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. Because she does not feel 30, so she doesn't gonna act like 30 either. She's gonna be as young as she wants to feel like. She's going to act like that age too.
And when people say my age, I'm like, oh my God, why are you calling me old? Like, I don't, and I'm like, oh, they just said my age. Got it. You know, so
What is your age?
Which reminds me, she was in her 30s when she was reaching out to allegedly 13-year-old boys. But I'm going to just let's just skip past this.
Interesting. Like what did you say before we started? A young British boy.
Yes, I'm a young British
The loving
boy.
words I heard them speak to
Hello.
each other before we started filming.
But let's talk about it though, because you come from a big family. And I'm sure that when you have that many siblings, like you're just able to say whatever and blurt it out, and it's like joking and moving around. And one thing that I learned when I was on The View is that there's a difference between live in front of the audience and what's happening at home. And it took me a while to kind of learn that conversation. So to slowly just kind of talk about it, do you feel like you're at home when you're in front of a camera and you feel like that, or have you?
Totally.
Okay.
I mean, that was the whole thing, right? I mean, when I started doing YouTube, it was like kind of when YouTube started becoming a YouTuber, because that wasn't a thing. There weren't influencers. It was just people uploading videos.
I have a question about Miranda.
Okay.
Why the red lipstick?
Sister asked a very good question, because that's definitely why we've gathered here after the entire shenanigan shit show, as to why the color of Colleen Ballinger's second stupid identity is red. I've definitely been losing sleep over that thought, and you know what? I can finally get a good night's rest. Thank you guys for asking this question and giving me the satisfaction of knowing the answer in my short, very useless, kind of stupid life.
Well, in the beginning, I would do whatever people didn't like, because in the beginning, originally,
Oh, sure, let's go laugh it off with a person who has serious accusations against her, because you know what? At least they are good sport when having tea.
I thought it was so funny that people couldn't tell if she was real or not, and so people.
All right, I'm just gonna skip past this because I don't have the ability to sit through this again, and I'm already just going to go through the important parts of it. You guys can watch this again and formulate your own opinions.
Thank you.
Yep.
I can do anything. You had a 20-year run. You explained that you hustled to make that character what it was, and then the world imploded. And then you got canceled. And then you had all these accusations and a lot of voices come through the screen that had been rooting for you for so long. You had the rug pulled out from underneath you. We will get into those and kind of talk a little bit about some of the comments people have made and how certain situations have made watchers and viewers feel. But I first want to ask you, when you first got that ting about, oh no.
So we're finally going to get into the more serious questions. After 14 to 15 minutes of absolute shits and giggles, we're finally acknowledging the serious stuff. Thank you. It only took you so long, but I guess better late than never.
Something is going astray. What happened personally, internally to you?
You know, it was kind of a slow build. And I feel like I felt it brewing for a little bit first, you know.
Yeah, and you still were so immature that you didn't decide that, oh, maybe I should think things through, you know, what I'm doing, and I still went ahead and do it. Colleen, you want me to believe that you're the same age as the audience that you were targeting as well? Do you want me to believe that you're also a 13-year-old? No, you're not. You're with 3 kids, okay? You really need to start acting like that.
There were moments in your live shows where there were children brought up on stage and you were, as showbiz says, going for the funny in a lot of moments. However, looking back at moments, there is another person on the internet who is saying that when she went up on stage for your live show, she was a part of the yoga challenge section of your show. And it made them feel gross. Later in life, they were essayed, and when they look back at that moment with you, they feel similar feelings. Can you dive a little bit deeper into what happened at the yoga challenge?
It was a challenge on YouTube for a while for people to try out different yoga poses. Like couples would do it together, because if you're not experienced in yoga, it's difficult to do. And so since I'm a YouTuber on my live show, sometimes I would do challenges from YouTube. So I did that challenge, and I'd have people come up on stage and we would try out different yoga poses that popped up on the screen. And obviously we could never do them, and I would be, you know, flailing about as Miranda. And there was one pose where there are 2 people and both legs are spread open, you're holding each other's legs. And I genuinely never thought of it as a sexual or inappropriate thing. To me, the joke was that when the legs were open to do the pose, the fart sound effect came on screen. So it was like, once the legs opened up, there was a fart sound.
Keep this in mind. So this next part of the video, or the allegation that she was addressing, I'm going to summarize this because it's quite a long segment and I don't want to waste a lot of time on it. But it is nail in the coffin kind of thing, and it's a very, very, very serious allegation that was made against her and the person that was involved in the whole thing, the child. I'm going to link his YouTube channel down below as well. He responded to this whole podcast. So basically, Miranda used to do this thing where she would send, according to her, this random things to children, her audience, on camera while she was on live. So she would use to give away things to them, like a random bobby pin or a sweater or a shirt or a dress that she would like. And one time she got a pair of underwear that she didn't want. And according to her, this fan of hers was like really wanted it. They were begging it, and she was like a bit confused. She really didn't want to, as she says, that she didn't want to give it. She was reluctant and hesitant. And so she ended up giving it away, and that person later came out calling her creepy, and that allegedly she sent him her underwear while he was 13, and that person did respond. So this kind of part really angers me because that person came out with the receipts, and I realized Miranda didn't come out with anything but her pity party. And so basically that person they went ahead and dug out things that were present on Colleen's channel. Like, she was literally contradicting herself, and they showed evidence that she in fact insisted on him to take it. He did not ask her. He was not insisting either, and she sent it to him. And the entire time she was going through his Twitter and everything, he didn't ask for it as per se, as like she says. She wanted him to have it, and completely inappropriate behavior. Please check that guy's response out. Watch this podcast for yourself. Develop your own opinions. And let's continue.
Brown and that's cute.
Reds. Something else, Colleen, that has come up and been discussed is the fact that you would participate in group chats with your fans, and there were minors in those chats, and there would be questions regarding their virginity and sex positions.
Right.
Inappropriate questions are being asked to underage people. What was going on?
That's true. It's completely inappropriate. And I used to do this weekly question and answer thing with my audience. And that particular group chat was full of a bunch of different fans of all ages, but they were crass and funny and ridiculous. And they would, whenever I asked for questions for my channel, they would ask me questions like that. They would ask me questions they knew I wouldn't answer, that were over the top, inappropriate. So when one of them, which this part of the conversation is now deleted, those parts of the conversations are deleted or gone or somehow, I don't know. But when they asked for questions for theirs, I was trying to do the same jokes that they had just previously been doing with me. Stupid and inappropriate. Shouldn't have done it. I feel really embarrassed.
You were an adult. You could have age restricted the group.
And stupid. And
Did you know they were underage at the time?
I knew that there were teenagers in the chat. Yeah, I did know that.
You could have age restricted the group. You shouldn't have even joked about such stuff, and nothing she says here makes it sound even mildly better. She admits she was well aware that those kids there, they were young. And there's so many joke topics, but you consciously decided to joke about such stuff. Just because that kind of behavior was being thrown at you doesn't mean you have to reciprocate it. Yeah, you can divert the topic. You can restrict it. You can put your foot down. You were the adult, not them. They were gonna be stupid because they're teenagers. You had the responsibility and you failed at it as an adult. Can you imagine that a 30-year-old man, if he was to ask the same thing to teenagers, we'd be reacting completely differently, and we wouldn't even give a platform to such a person? He'd probably be in jail. Okay? Why are we giving her so much grace? She was a woman in her 30s who decided to engage in that with kids and didn't know any better, with kids that didn't know any better, and probably were too mesmerized by the idea of talking to their idol that they couldn't think any better. It was an obvious power dynamic that she was playing like an instrument.
And I also thought, well, they all know I'm not serious. I don't want the answers to these questions. They all know that I'm just joking around like they do this to me. They know I'm...
Just because they do this to you doesn't mean you have to do it back. Just because somebody decides to be a murderer doesn't mean you have to be a murderer to them. Just because somebody decides to throw a bottle at your head doesn't mean you have to throw a bottle back at them. I know I'm giving really stupid examples, but I'm trying to convey a point that just because it's done to you doesn't mean you have to reciprocate it back.
I'm not going to answer the questions. I know they don't want the answers. Like, I thought, like, this was, it was clear between all of us that, like, I was joking. I didn't actually want this information from this person. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny to ask a really absurd, crazy question. And there were a bunch of questions I asked. Those were just a few of the awful ones that I did. And I should have never done that. That was crazy.
Oh, you think? You think? I think it's a bit too late for regrets, because if you were never caught, that behavior would have continued on. You would have never changed if you didn't get this kind of backlash. You would have never grown out of it. You know what I mean? It angers me about these kind of people because if that behavior was allowed to fester and continue, it would have done it. She wouldn't have stopped.
It wasn't in a grooming fashion.
Absolutely not. It was in a stupid fashion. It was like I shouldn't.
For the laugh?
For the laugh. I thought it would make them laugh.
I'm speechless, okay? Even if it was not for the purpose of grooming, that behavior was inappropriate. It was terrible. It should never have been done. I'm losing brain cells over this. It's too late. I'm sitting way past my bedtime recording this. And I know it's not going to garner a lot of attention, but I just wanted my opinion out there. I know this is the usual humor that gets the attention, but I really wanted to talk about this because I wanted my opinions out there.
I should have thought a lot more about my interactions with my fans and how it could affect them. I should have been more responsible and thought about how these things could affect people, especially, the teenagers that were interacting with me. And I'm so now, in hindsight, like grateful and proud of these people for coming forward and saying, like, hey, this is not okay behavior. Because even though I know that I never wanted to hurt anyone and my intentions and my desires were nothing negative in my interactions with these people, that needed to be said. They needed to say, like, hey, this isn't okay, because there are people out there who they do have the intentions to hurt them, and they need to be able to say, like, this isn't okay, and I'm not standing for this, and like my heart was in the right place. It doesn't matter if people felt uncomfortable. I'm proud of them for saying, like, this wasn't okay and this made me uncomfortable, or this is not an okay thing to joke about, or whatever. That needed to happen. And I hope that anyone interacting with anyone online, whether it be a celebrity or a new friend or anyone, goes into it with that caution up of, like, what are these person's intentions, and assuming they're negative going into it, I feel like is a good thing to protect them from
Real predators
who actually do want to hurt them.
I'd be curious to know your thoughts on what you think your spirit is.
We're not even gonna get into that. That's not my problem. I don't care what she thinks. I don't care what she's learned, because she did something that was awful, and I'm not defending her at all. I'm not discrediting any of the victims, but Colleen definitely has come like a long way from that freaking darn ukulele apology. We're not even gonna call it an apology. That darn ukulele video. She is acting a bit more mature, but to forgive her or to tell people to forgive her is not my duty. I am not the one who was hurt. Forgiving her, giving her back a platform, another chance. It's totally up to her victims. It's not my place to speak. I can only give my opinions. And my opinion is no. Just because she's acting a bit more mature, it does not discredit any of the other things that she's done. I am not going to say that, oh, she's gotten so much better. She's she definitely deserves the apology. No, she does not. She does not deserve the grace that is being given to her. She does not deserve any of the other stuff. I'm sorry if my mic sounds weird. It's just giving me an issue, and that's exactly why I'm recording late into the night. So yeah, at the end of the day, forgiving her is not it's not my problem. It's not up to me. I cannot forgive her. I am not the target. I was not hurt. I am not the victim. So I'm just going to lay out these opinion from my side, and you guys can further discuss this in the comments down below. And speaking of comments, let's read some of them. What the hell is wrong with y'all for platforming someone who's still to this day claiming that her victims are lying? Yes, that part about the lingerie being asked for, yeah, that was a lie. That is not true. The video will be linked down below. I did watch Adam's video after this. Who the hell thought this was a good idea? Holy shit, lol. Yeah, I agree. Why are we platforming these kind of people? Let's stop giving platforms to such terrible, terrible people. And yeah, I don't want to see her again. It's kind of like giving Mr. Beast an area to speak, and we don't want to do that. Next up, exactly my point. Let's be clear here. If a grown man had sent a little girl underwear in the mail, we would not be doing this in such a gray area all the time. At the time, nonsense. We would be calling him what he is. Yes, I totally agree with this. Adam, 13 years old. Can I have the dress? Colleen, 29 years old. Laughing at Adam's trees, calling everything ugly. Do you want the bra, Adam? Oh yeah, I saw the video, and this is like, he actually was calling all her dresses ugly. The lingerie incident, and she asked him to have the bra. Okay, an underage man. He was a child. Oh wait, darn! I didn't even notice that them calling him an underage man. That's awful. Talk about that. This comment section shows really how extremely filtered Colleen's comments are. I'm sorry if I'm reading this wrong. I'm freaking having a headache. It's literally 12:37 a.m. and I'm really exhausted. Took me a while to get this mic working. Oh my god, my point. Why the hell were they behaving like it's a morning show? You two did not just spend an hour joking around about grooming. Exactly. What the hell? Will you invite the victims to give their perspectives? I bet not. They're not going to garner this much clout for them. So that is as much as we're going to read because the comment section is endless. And one I wanted to point it out was this one. For anyone who wants to know, the likes were 3.2k and the dislikes were 14k. So the 3.2k people, I'm really disappointed in you as a person. And I really hope nothing bad ever happens to your children. All right, so as promised, I'm going to read some of the allegations that were made against Colleen Ballanger. And this Reddit tweet, this Reddit post will be linked down below in the many things that I've referenced here. So first of all, sending nude photos to minors and employees, and mind you, they were completely unconsensual. She was sensualizing minors and behaving inappropriately during her Miranda Sings live show. It was the one that we talked about, the yoga incident. And here you can see there's freaking all of the evidence that has been linked here. So I will be giving you guys the Reddit post so you can go through this all on your own. We really don't have a lot of time. And it also includes the Cheetos out of her pants incident and something about Colleen's mother in a private chat with a minor fan. And she joked about an inappropriate behavior surrounding pedophilia, grape, corn, and some of the other stuff that I would not be able to survive YouTube. And here is talked inappropriately with minors in group chats. Colleen was in group chats with fans ages 12 plus. She allegedly used the groups to form close relationships with children and make them feel special, talk about her marriage, personal life, trauma, and ask minors about their favorite positions and their virginity. So basically, yes, she is lying on that podcast, or at least to a very great extent, trying to dissolve the situation as best as possible. She also individually messaged minors, and we'll focus on Adam. As I've mentioned, I will link his channel and his videos down below. Show him lots and lots of support. He's an amazing person, and he's got a great personality. He's amazing. I really loved his video, and yeah, you can go check him out too. She was a racist, anti-Semitic, and she definitely discriminated against people like Asian people, Latino people. This is very what would you call it, extensive. She definitely went all out in making this Reddit post, and I feel like this, if you want a crash course on what Colleen is being in for, this is all you need to read. And yeah, this like terrible stuff. She had a suspicious childhood cancer fundraiser. Okay, I did not know about this. She's known for animal mistreatment, child exploitation. Oh my god, she exploited her 3 children by posting near daily vlogs since their birth. Yeah, I know that there's a lot of gray areas surrounding using your children on YouTube, but I do think that this person is right. Using your children for clout is just exploitation. Inappropriate and unsafe behavior surrounding birth of her twins. Please just go and read this whole thing. I'm not going to read this because the video is already too long. In her live shows that have occurred since the allegation have resurfaced, she has mocked victims and sold new colors of her canceled merch. Girl, I am baffled with her audacity to go on that podcast and for those people to actually take her. Oh my god. Oh, I'm so grateful for this person who wrote this extensive of a post about everything. So I really think that everybody should go ahead and check this person out. Show them lots of support. Show Adam lots of support. Show all the other victims lots of support. And really, I think Colleen needs to be off the platform. She really needs to be deplatformed. That's my opinion. Some of the, like, most of this shit is like, you can't even talk yourself out of it. The amount of her diluting the subject and trying to bury as much of the seriousness as possible and come out to be like some kind of victim of the internet cancellation culture. No, this woman very much deserved it. And why is she still given a platform, YouTube? Anyways, with that, we've reached the end of the video, and if I sound better, that's probably because I did get enough sleep. I freaking forgot to record the intro while I was recording the rest of the video. I was really that exhausted. It was 2 a.m. It took me an entire freaking day to figure out the problem with my microphone, and yeah, it probably sounds better because I am feeling far better. I'm sorry for the lack of the usual humor that I have in my videos, and I just found it really disrespectful to do that while the victims are here. There were actual victims. People did suffer. And as much as I know you guys want to go ahead and hate on Colleen Ballanger and the podcast, I really think that it's better you use that energy to show love and support to the victims that just keep getting dragged into this, because Colleen Ballanger is adamant on scraping through old wounds again and again without any consideration for her victims. And if you'd like, you can drop a like. Let me know your comments, your opinions, your opinions down in the comment section below. I read all the comments, which are barely 4. But anyways, if you'd like to have a more humorous twist on things. We do have a lot of discussions here. Usually the tone is not this depressing. We do have a lot of humor, and if that's something that is your cup of tea, you can always subscribe, and we'll be back to our usual shenanigans in the next week. I love you guys so much. Again, lots of love and support to all the victims. I love you guys very much. I really hope you heal, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you so much. Bye bye.